put the question that amendment number 1, MAR 1, be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Aye. Against, no. The noes have it. Division required.
When members of Parliament need to make decisions in the chambers, the question must be voted on and agreed to by a majority in the chamber. The question is first put to a vote on the voices. This means that the Speaker or President asks the members of Parliament to vote by saying aye, yes, or no. The Speaker or President listens to the voices and announces the result by saying whether the ayes or noes have it. If none of the members challenge the result, the question is decided and the House can move on to the next item of business. However, a member can call divide to challenge the result, and an official vote takes place to decide the answer to the question. The Speaker or President will tell the chamber that a division is needed and will ask the clerk to ring the bells.
All right, it's the last speaker. Right. So the question before the House is that the motion be agreed to. If the question say aye. Aye. Against say no. No. Noes have it. Aye. Division required. Ring the bells.
The clerk will press a button which activates the sound of ringing bells throughout the building. The bells sound different for the House of Assembly and the Legislative Council so that members know which house is having a vote. The House of Assembly bells sound like school bells, and the Legislative Council bells sound like a buzzer. There are also red and green lights in the building, so if the bells cannot be heard, you can see from the lights that one of the houses is having a vote. The bells or buzzers ring for 3 minutes, and the members must make their way into the chamber to vote before the 3 minutes are up. The clerk has an hourglass timer to time the 3 minutes. When the bells stop ringing, the doors are locked and a bar is drawn so that any late members cannot enter the chamber, which means they cannot vote. This is why the different parties have what are called whips. The whips are from each party and they know when important matters are being decided upon so they can make sure their members are present to go into the chambers and vote. The Speaker or President conducts the vote by asking the members voting aye to move to the right of their chair, those voting against or no to move to the left side of their chair.
The ayes will pass to the right of the chair, the noes to the left of the chair. I appoint the member for Newland teller for the ayes and the member for Flinders teller for the noes.
Most of the time, the members vote with their party, but sometimes a member will cross the floor of the chamber and vote with the other side. This typically happens on a conscience vote, where members can vote based on their personal position rather than their party's position. The vote is then counted and the names of the members are recorded by the 2 clerks at the table. When the 2 clerks at the table count all the members in a vote, they give the result to the Speaker or President. The Speaker or President will then stand to announce the result. There were 20 ayes and 15 noes, so the question has been answered in the affirmative, meaning yes, and this means that the question is decided and the chamber can move on to the next item of business.
The result of the division, there being 21 ayes and 15 noes, the motion for postponement is carried.
However, if there is a tie, for example 15 ayes and 15 noes, then the Speaker or President has a casting vote to decide the question.